morning, guys. I'm getting ready right now. I'm having my cold brew. Now that we remade it and did it a little bit of a better way, it is so good. It's a Dunkin' cold brew. I really, really like it. The first time it was too watery, but if you watch my last vlog, you'll see why that was. It was because the coffee bags were not far down in it enough. So we figured out a way to fix that. But anyway, I'm getting ready right now, and I have my worship leader summer summit this morning with Jeremy Riddle on actually a live video. When I first signed up for it, I didn't really know how it was going to work, or you know what it was going to be through. I didn't know if we would be able to speak to Jeremy Riddle, or if it would just be the hosts, or how it would work. But anyway, we're actually going to have a Q&A time at the end where we can actually speak to him and ask him questions. It's going to be through Zoom, which is kind of like a Skype deal, but I think with Zoom you can have, like, obviously as many people as you want, because there's going to be a lot on this worship summit. So really excited about it, and yeah, just really looking forward to it. A little bit nervous for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like I'm way less nervous in person than I am like on a video chat. For some reason, video chats scare me. But I'll be good. It'll be really fun. I know it's gonna be encouraging and motivating. So yeah, really excited. I'm gonna get ready now. I've got about an hour before the Zoom chat opens up, and about an hour and a half before the class or the teaching summit, conference actually starts. So yeah, I'm excited.
Artists and worship leaders, they just kind of buy into whatever story. Oh wow, that's gonna be bad. Oh, if that keeps going, I'm gonna run downstairs real quick. But most artists and worship leaders, they just buy whatever the label or the church organization, whatever it is. Wow. So give me 2 seconds, guys. Spiritual authority is a real thing, number one. And I would say that spiritual authority flows downwards, meaning if you're not under it, then you don't have it. And I would say for leadership in the church, that's twofold. You need to be obviously under and submitted to the leadership of Jesus. But secondly, you need to be submitted to the leadership of your church. Worship leadership is a part of the whole. Unless you're senior pastor and worship leader, which has been known to happen in many a small church, but unless you're both, most of the time you are under the accountability of your church's senior leadership. If you want to grow as a worship leader, watch how other worship leaders lead. Sometimes we lead with a lot of blind spots, but man, it's really easy to spot someone else's weakness. That's terrible, but I think I've watched a lot of really, really poorly led rehearsals and things. I'm like, and ultimately I found the finger pointing back at myself. I'm like, I'm guilty of that, Also, I guess the quickest way is invite your band to educate you. This is humbling, but this is a really beautiful act. Invite your band to help you. Be like, hey guys, I may not know a whole lot about this, you may not find the right books, but help me educate, teach me your language, teach me how to communicate certain things. I am committed to growing and learning as a leader, and honoring you. I find that goes a long way.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, I just had a real quick question, really simple, but it was about songwriting. So I'm really curious of your creative process behind it, and I'm trying to kind of improve myself, and so kind of practical advice that you could give, or even the spiritual side of songwriting, and how to keep it fresh and new, and also want to thank you because this has been incredible. I love it. So
yeah, songwriting for me, my creative process is as far as it's varied. I would say, for one, I always have my creative antenna up. I've learned that, long ago. You never know when something amazing is going to hit you. You always need to be ready to capture it. And I have found, people call, thin places, but there are thin places creatively for me. And one of those thin places is rehearsal. I don't know why. It's when the band's kind of noodling around, they're just playing something, and I'll just start to sing. I've captured more songs during, you know, band rehearsal than probably any other time. It's weird. I've just started to pay attention to that, and I'm never afraid to stop whatever I'm doing, grab my iPhone, voice memo, record. I'll be walking down the street, I'll have a random melody idea, I have no idea if it's any good, doesn't matter, I capture everything. I mean, I've woken up in the middle of the night with having a dream of a song idea, and I have tons of stupid voice memos that will never translate because they're me trying to not wake my wife up, and you're just like, you're trying to communicate a melody through a whisper, and it doesn't work at all. But I've just learned that you capture everything, and I never judge what life it has, you know, like in the moment. I will always just let it sit. And then when I have time to develop something, that's when I'll start to review all those ideas, those, you know, band rehearsal snippets, and I'll listen when I'm detached from the moment, when I'm more objective. I will listen to see what melodies have weight on them. And I think I've just learned over time, like, ooh, that's got something. Ooh, that does something in me again. I just listen to how my heart responds. I'm like, ooh, that does something. I'll keep that. You know, and the other ones that I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. That's terrible. I just delete them.
Yeah.
Like, I've learned to not try and house thousands of voice memos. You gotta weed through. And the ones that really, like, ooh, wow, that could be something. When I actually have time, if I sit down and work on a song, I never just start from scratch. I'm always going to, like, some of those ideas that seem to have a lot of life on them. And that's when I start to explore. And I find that putting a drum beat to something really helps me write. And it's most of the time, I'm in Logic, and they have just a packaged set of terrible loops. Some of them are good, most of them are really cheesy, but it doesn't matter, because I'm not looking for something to sound amazing. I'm looking for something to agitate development, agitate creative inspiration. And so I'll put some terrible techno beat to something, just if it kind of solidifies, you know, like a concept or an idea, or gives life to the song on another level. And I find that experimenting and playing with a song musically actually helps me sometimes develop a song. That's a little bit of my process. Most of my ideas are melodic first before they're conceptual. And everyone does it a different way. Callie only has lyrics first and then adds melody later. And I think it can work both ways. For me, though, I think a melody is already communicating something. It already has an energy, it already has an emotion, it already has like a certain feeling to it. What I'm looking for is when I sing a melody, I begin to play around and I sing different things over that melody. And I'm just looking for what sparks. Like, ooh, when I sing about the love of God over this melody, like, ooh, something opens up, like something, like I get goosebumps, or, you know, whatever. You're just paying attention to your spirit, you know, a little bit, and what's like, ooh, like that. Like, there's something about that. Yeah. And then I'll begin to explore that theme further, you know? Like, the old song I wrote, Furious, it started with this, it was like a 90s rock kind of angst tune, like, why do you want to, why do you need to? And it had all these random stupid lyrics to it, you know, that didn't mean anything. And I began to play around with that melody, and I began to sing different things over it. And all of a sudden, I was singing, like, his love. I just made it sing about his love, and I'm like, like, something, like, grabbed me deep. And I'm like, that's it. Like, this song was meant to communicate something about his love. And then that's where the real work begins, where you begin to go, okay. And I'm writing pages and pages and pages of lyric, and I'm looking for those ones that, like, ooh, there's something there. And so it's a long process, and sometimes tunes don't land. That tune took like 8 years for it to find its resting place, you know, and find its, you know, its traction. So that's a little bit of my process. Also a ton of co-writing. Yeah. Generally, when I'm co-writing, I am helping assist in the lyric department, sometimes the melody department, mainly lyrics. Like, that's one of the main things I've been pulled on, you know, to help with. So that's a snippet.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much. Awesome.
You're welcome. That there would be a season where they'd hear your voice with more clarity than ever before. And I just bless them. I bless them to be the worshiper that you made them to be. I bless them to be free in that, and in the expression, and the thing that you've made them to be. Lord, and I just pray for a gift of leadership.
Our conference just ended. That was so cool. Like, so much cooler than I even expected it to be. I kind of, I guess, thought it would be more like we would just sit there and watch him and then he would talk, and that would be cool because he had a lot of great stuff to say. He came in like with such a strong presence. He talked a lot about spiritual authority, and he definitely carries a lot of spiritual authority just right off the bat. He's one of those leaders that you can tell does not have to ask for respect or for, hey, listen to me, because he just comes in with this fire. And he said that, you know, sorry if I'm getting too fiery and stuff, but he really does just come in. I love Bethel. Jeremy Riddle's actually no longer with Bethel. He talked about that. But anyways, it was just really cool. I can't even say enough about it, because it was really awesome because he was so down to earth. And when you would ask a question, he genuinely like answered the question. Like, he would go on about the question in a good way. He didn't just say like, yeah, this is what I do, like quickly. Like, it wasn't just trying to get it over with. I thought it was really cool, and he actually made a lot of time for questions. He made sure that he answered questions, and he didn't get to everybody's. Thankfully, they did get to mine. The host was like kind of moderating it, making sure, moderating, is that a word? Moderating it. I said it, didn't sound right. Making sure, you know, that people were, that it was organized and structured. So we didn't get to everybody's questions, but it was really incredible. And so I actually had a different question to ask him, but it was asked first. It was like the first question somebody asked, and I wasn't first. So I was like, shoot, I have to think of something else, which I had a few questions, and I'm glad I ended up asking that one because I really loved his response in regards to songwriting. So anyways, it was really cool. He talked a lot, I mean, really personally, and it was literally just like talking to a friend. It wasn't like, hey, I'm famous and this is what I do. It was like really personal, and he shared personal things, and he was just very like open and honest about struggles he's had in ministry, as well as things that he feels like he's done right or done wrong. And he's just really cool. Like, I would recommend doing that, and I feel like he's definitely the type of worship leader that I could sit down with and discuss things with and talk to, and he's just really cool. So yeah, it was awesome, and I'm really happy that I did it. It was like really inexpensive, and so if you're a worship leader, we're thinking about doing another one of these in the fall, they just said. So I would love to be a part of that as well, but let me know and I can get you guys involved in it. Really awesome. All right, so we are at the church now. I'm gonna go in and go to the office. It's about 1 o'clock, so did my conference, had a quick bite to eat, and now I'm going inside to do some work. Oh, that handle is hot. Oh, it's hot outside. I forgot to tell you guys earlier that when I was on that call today with Jeremy Riddle and the other worship leaders, and one of the guys from the worship page I'm on, he spoke in the beginning. His name's Nick. He did a really great job. I forgot to tell you guys that I asked my question, and when you ask a question or when you talk at all on Zoom, what we used, if you have it set correctly, the person talking will like be like the big picture on the screen, you know, and then the next person will be big and whatever. So obviously there were so many people in the chat that you couldn't really see everybody at one time, but if somebody talked, you would see them. So when I talked and asked my question, people obviously saw me, and one of the people in the group commented and said that they have visited my church, and they knew that I looked familiar. And I thought that was so cool, because I've been here a couple of years, and he said he visited in January, and to be like that confident that he knew who I was, you know, from just that, I would never probably remember somebody from something like that. So obviously he has a good memory. I mean, I remember people pretty well, but I would be too nervous to like, I'd be like, oh, maybe it's not them. But anyway, I thought that was really cool because we're in part of this group together, you know, and there's a ton of people in this group. I think they said almost 15,000 people now. But yeah, it's crazy, you know, small world. I guess he was in the area for work, and he's from the general area, I guess. And so anyway, he said that he's been to my church before, so that was really cool. So I just wanted to say that, and yeah, it's really awesome to be able to connect with so many worship leaders. And you know, I know worship leaders in real life. I've grown up around this, so I know, you know, worship pastors and youth pastors, and I know a lot of people that work in ministry, but I'm not really around any of them, you know, anymore. Other than people that I work with here. Aside from that, I'm not around any, and you know, in person. So it's nice to have that connection for sure. All right, so we.
Oh.
What? Look at me.
What?
We are home.
Home.
Manny quit. I can wear them like this.
Let's get life.
We are home right now, and we are gonna go charge my phone actually because I didn't have a charger and it's dead. Charge my phone for a little bit, and then I actually have to go back to the church. I have a keyboard lesson to give today, and I'm gonna go in and call them though because we're not having actual service tonight. So I'm wondering if they are still planning on coming to the lesson. I'm wanting to say they probably won't, but we're gonna see, and then we will go over. And I didn't tell you guys this yet, but tonight we're not having actual service, so we're doing frisbee golf at a local park. So I've never played frisbee golf before. Alright, so I don't have a lesson to give tonight. They're out of town, and I didn't realize that. So I'm gonna stay home and eat, and then we're having hot dogs at the park, but I'm hungry right now, so we're eating some noodles, and then gonna go back to the church, pick something up, and then go over to the park and do frisbee golf. I wanted to tell you guys what I got for my dad for Father's Day because I told you guys that I was going to tell you. I just couldn't yet because of him not knowing yet, and it actually was delivered a lot later than what it was originally supposed to be. So, and there was some kind of delay within the delivery service or whatever, but anyway, it was delivered today, and it is actually a Wise Cam, which the Crosby family, if you know them here on YouTube, Claire, their little daughter, she is adorable. Oh my gosh. If you've not seen her, you need to. She's been on Ellen, and she is so cute, and she's a little singer, and she's adorable. But anyway, her dad actually started this business called Wise Cam. It's a security camera, very inexpensive for what it is. It's like the cheapest of its kind, and really awesome. You can use your app to move the camera and things like that. My dad's super into stuff like that, so you know, security cameras, and he needs I mean, I think everybody does. Honestly, everybody needs. That's why I say he does. Everybody needs security, and plus it's fun. It's kind of a cool little gadget, you know. So I got him a Wise Cam. Check them out if you haven't already. They're really cool. But he got it today. I didn't even realize that he got it. He didn't mention it yet, but it says it was delivered. So my mom said that he did get it. So anyway, just wanted to tell you guys that that's what it was, and I'm getting ready right now to go to the park. So we're headed over there to play some frisbee golf. Okay. I like how we're not even following rules. We're just kind of doing it however we can. This is harder than I expected it to be. Look guys, I made it.
Somebody's getting squished.
Guys, I fell asleep on the couch, but I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog. I'm really not feeling good. So I'm not going to talk much right now, but I just want to end the vlog. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, you are incredible. Jesus loves you so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. I really liked today's vlog. It was a really fun day, and so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.